is October 19th, 2019, and the small indie music company Riot Games becomes Riot Games, celebrating their 10th anniversary. As a gift to themselves, I mean the fans, they decided to challenge the whole video game industry,
on the horizon,
taking on every major genre under the sun, from an online trading card game all the way to an MMO. Their expansion seemed unstoppable, with the most recent addition to their lineup being 2XKO, a fighting game set in the League of Legends universe. But the player base that's gathered is not quite what you'd expect. You see, 2XKO has quite an advantage by coming out so late after the other games. It allowed Riot to look at their IPs, see what worked and what hasn't. Every update closer to launch, things seemed off. With the small roster and most of the characters being leveraged in a specific direction or two, concerns started to creep in, followed by a confident silence that in hindsight I may have completely made up. So the question is, where's Vlad? No, seriously, why did 2XKO come out 4 years after everything else? Aside from the obvious answers, like them wanting to make a good game, I think this period of time has a lot to do with it. Thanks to a bunch of factors like cinematics, Arcane, music, and all of the other games, these parts of League are now loved by people who haven't played the MOBA. Their success in other mediums and genres have changed what people expect from Riot. Those two things can be directly seen in 2XKO, especially with how it's trying to appeal to both Arcane and fighting game fans at the same time.
Yeah, boy.
Well, there's an audience that seems oddly absent. The feeling of being alienated by something I should be excited for is a weird feeling, one that was extremely hard to put my finger on. The champions and their gameplay reflected League almost 1-to-1. How could I complain? It wasn't until I started noticing more cracks in the experience that made me wonder, who is this game for? In order to understand why I feel this way, we'll need to dive headfirst into the 10th anniversary of Riot Games. 2019 was a more defining year for the company than the 2014 visual and tonal update for Summoner's Rift. That being said, it wasn't exactly the best year for Riot, but it was a very exciting time to be a fan. The games they were teasing looked fantastic, and we were finally getting an anime adaptation of League of Legends. Every single new title went beyond our expectations. That's not to say League didn't set a bar of its own, thanks to its amazing monetization. Take me back. The only thing people really complained about was the champions and some of the balance updates. Everybody has their opinion on League, but without it, we would not have any of this. It's telling because no one else was doing it like Riot, so when Riot eventually did what everybody else did, it's sad. I'm getting ahead of myself. From that point on, everything we loved about modern Runeterra came into existence. We went from a singular game to a franchise in what felt like overnight. We got some wonderful single player games from Riot Forge, ranging from roguelikes to platformers and even a full-on 3D adventure game. They mentioned the word MMO, which we know absolutely nothing about, but if you're curious, Nicrit has some wonderful videos on the topic. Next was Legends of Runeterra, and I'm gonna say it, the most high quality online TCG on the market. It brought the world of Runeterra to life in a way that no other games could. Arcane Season 1 was a massive hit. It's safe to say it became an acclaimed masterpiece. Even I have pulled it to the zeitgeist. It turned the champions we know into real characters with real stories. Then there's Valorant, which showed Riot's ability to do well outside of the League IP. The tactical shooter is one of the only games to actually compete with CSGO. Of course we can't forget about TFT. It was not particularly impressive initially, however, its popularity allowed the team to build something truly amazing. They even did the League Classic and stole Dota's thunder once again, allowing us to enjoy a better game. Riot also bought some studios like Hypixel. No! Oh, thank goodness. Then there's Radiant Entertainment, who made a game called Rising Thunder. That game had Vlad, and surely by coincidence they would put it in their new game, right? After Rising Thunder failed, they used the resources to make 2XKO. This game came out late. I mean really late. Any moment now. After years of waiting, teasers, private testing, trailers, we finally got 2XKO. Oh, and they changed the name or something. Our expectations on it were higher than ever as we're no longer in the honeymoon phase of the Riot expansion. TFT and Valorant both being massive W's did not help in this department either. When the masses finally got their hands on the game through its closed beta, the sentiment was overall positive. Despite some valid criticisms here and there, everyone seemed to be enjoying themselves. Things were looking great going into the open beta. The only thing left we can do was wait. What? I have to wait again? The game isn't even really out yet, but the company very clearly wants it to be huge. They're hosting their own contests, they're going to events, and constantly supporting the professional side of the game. This confidence didn't come from nowhere, as the game at its core is fantastic. Leading up to its closed and open betas, many concerns started to pop up. Nobody was sure how they were going to handle it. With League's gigantic cast of champions, 2xKO felt a little too simple and obvious. Even with the reveals of the last 3 champions breaking that stigma, something else was off.
The party's just begun.
I initially had no plans on playing the game, so I booted up the game and dove headfirst into PvP because I like learning hands-on. 2xKO came off as an extremely well-polished free offering in the fighting game genre. After some more time with the game, I still think it is, to some degree. The game's future is looking pretty bright. It has 5 champions planned next year, as well as every year after. Oh, so that's why we had to wait so long. In all honesty, as a mid-20s college student who decided getting a degree was important later than I should have, I can't drop money on games all the time. The free nature of 2xKO, along with the fact that it's my favorite universe, almost made me want to learn fighting games. It's an extremely well-rounded experience for all types and levels of players. For the casuals like me, did I mention it's free? The game has something called Pulse, which does the combos for you. So instead of learning the game like how you would, you can focus on individual aspects like learning how to block. Another cool thing is that this game is a co-op.
I may sound like a silly clown.
Fighter, meaning you and your friends can play together on the same team. Yeah, that's right, you and your buddy can both play together in any scenario, 1v1, 2v2, 2v1, allowing you to spend time with your pals even in a public lobby. Another benefit of it being a co-op fighter is that the champions have less moves overall. This makes learning one champion fairly easy. The complexity comes from learning 2 and intertwining their moves. If you're someone who wants to get a high rank so you can tell everybody you know about how good you are, including grandma, you need to play a lot of matches. Thankfully, 2xKO's amazing lobby system makes that seamless. Once you queue up, an arcade machine will start glowing, and you'll either be paired with someone in your lobby or someone outside of your lobby. And if you've been playing fighting games for a long time, you've probably heard online play this, Nintendo Smash Bros. That. Oh my god, where's the rollback netcode? Whatever that means. With each match lasting 3 to 4 minutes, you can play a lot in a short amount of time. And none of those even fall close to the game's biggest strength, which in my opinion is a champion gameplay. 2xKO offers a new way to experience the characters. They're not limited by MOBA mechanics anymore, meaning they can add more to what the champions offer. That being said, they did a good job at transferring everything over. Darius has Hemorrhage passive, Warwick has Blood Hunt, Alawi can spawn Tentacle, Yasuo has his 2 cute tornado bullshit, and the list goes on and on. League is full of characters that would not only go crazy in the setting, but would get some well-needed love if they added them to 2xKO. The world of Runeterra has some of the best theming and storytelling in modern day fiction. It's no One Piece, but from a world building standpoint, it's pretty close. As a die-hard League of Legends enjoyer whose opinions are very unique, you should give me a like and subscribe and let me know what you think of the video down below. That feeling of something missing I mentioned earlier has come back and gotten much larger. Having new experiences through the game universe I love should have been overwhelmingly positive for me. But as I continued to play the game, the experience started falling apart. From the way they've been advertising the game, the visuals of the lobby, the visuals of the menu, and most importantly the roster, I started to feel like the game wasn't being made for me. League of Legends is everything that comes with the game. The lore, the characters, the community, and even the font. 2xKO's presentation leaves little room to care about those things I just mentioned. When Blitz and Teemo came out, I got reasonably excited as I thought the initial roster was just to drop people in and we could go from there. Then Warwick came out. Can you guess what's wrong with Warwick? Speaking of which, the designs are really weird. Like, why does Yasuo have sideburns? And can we please decide on a build for Darius and stop changing? I am asking you so nicely. Every fighting game is represented by its roster and presentation. 2xKO is mostly represented by Evo and Arcane. You can even see this lack of identity in the maps, which are breathtaking, sure, but they're also really boring. Every single map has the same issues. No name NPCs here, nothing going on there, no interaction between the map and the gameplay, despite there literally being a fight that in other words would wipe out their civilization. I get it, it's for visual clarity, but you're telling me we couldn't have cool stuff happening in the background or at least one Summoner's Rift map? Speaking of overall disconnect, the music is actually wild. Don't get me wrong, I don't think it's bad, but this is Riot's small indie music company Games we're talking about. They have hundreds of songs that would be so perfect for a game like this, especially where you get to listen to the track during the match. I'm sure there's some licensing mumbo jumbo I don't know about stopping 2XKO from using the music, but imagine a world where you hop into a match and this plays. Or this. Or even this. The last thing I want to mention is how the UI and the lobby designs are completely detached from everything. It's crazy to me that these parts of the game aren't stylized to the Runeterra setting at all, almost as if they were from a completely different game. This all brings me back to the title of the video. Who is 2XKO made for? In my research, I found a fan-made League of Legends fighting game called League of Fighters. It started back in 2013 and was made with a ton of passion and respect for the source material. It was an extremely ambitious project with hand-drawn assets, voice acting, and self-made music. The champions in that game had abilities that would go on cooldown, so you wouldn't get 100 and 0'd over a 30-second window with an unbreakable combo. They even included summoner spells for big decision making like the MOBA, and the maps are variations of Summoner's Rift. The biggest surprise of them all was the gank feature. I'm just gonna show you a clip. Instaburst was clearly ahead of its time. Unfortunately, from what I could tell, the game never got into people's hands, as the creators moved on to bigger and better things. Oh, League of Fighters made me realize the thing that 2XKO was missing, and that's the soul of early Riot Games. It's clear to me that 2XKO was made for the broadest demographic possible and not for the League fans like me, especially with the Game Awards announcement. As genuinely great as I think Arcane is, I'm not a fan of the decision making being impacted because of it. The League IP used to be at the forefront of Riot's decision making. It genuinely doesn't feel like that anymore. I don't know if you've noticed, but most of this year has been impacted by the TV series. They started to bring it back in towards the end of the year with Sahan, but I can't help but feel things could have gone much better if they had a solid game plan. Legends of Runeterra's issues didn't stem from the fact that it was a League TCG. Riot Forge made wonderful games but needed stronger unified direction. 2XKO has forgone the one thing that the others didn't, and in doing so it lost itself trying to find its audience, despite being one of the most niche genres on the planet. If you haven't yet, the game is free, so I implore you to go try it yourself and come to your own opinion. By embracing what it actually wants to be, the team will have a much easier time getting there. As a result, they can finally ditch the Arcane fighting game allegations.